I'm gonna do one more thing. I'm gonna go live on Facebook. So let's see if I can get this right. Come on in, welcome, welcome. Come on in. We have a lot to cover. Let's see. Okay. We'll be getting started in about 1 minute. Let me see. All right. We have all systems a go. Live Facebook, recording, letting folks in. Welcome to our village meeting. We'll let a little bit of this music play and then get this off. Have a lot of business to handle, so we're happy that everybody decided to join us. You could be anywhere outside in the nice weather, but you are on a Zoom with Rage, so we feel extremely honored. If you do not know me, I'm Aisha Butler, one of the co-founders and now serving as the CEO of the Resident Association of Greater Englewood. I'm excited to see a lot of familiar names, unfamiliar names. This is our village meeting. We have been doing them virtually since the world shifted a bit, and have a lot to cover today. So I'll just go over a little bit of our agenda so folks know what is happening. Of course, welcome. And we are trying to get in this space. I say this on every virtual meeting. We are trying to get inside. We hope either we could do it before the year end or definitely next year. So that is our goal. So today we want to welcome everybody. One thing that we like to do first is kind of know who's logging in, where folks coming from. Because we have a big crowd, we won't be able to do introductions for everyone, but please drop in the chat your name, if you a resident or a member of Rage, whatever you want people to know about you. That could be an organization, that could not be. And if you want people to connect, make sure you put their information in the chat. So we'll give people a minute to do that, to just see who we got in the building or in the Zoom. I'll be looking. And then we also always do a launch. We're just gonna ask, just so we don't have to do all of these questions, but as many as you can get to. And this quick poll. This is your first time here. If you live in Englewood, do you guys see the poll? Gotcha, cool. And then in the chat, you can do a quick intro if you want people to know who you are, you want to connect and build and take action after the meeting. And it's also helpful too for us. I do want to take the time to at least introduce the Rage team that we have on Zoom today. Of course, once again, Aisha Butler, co-founder, CEO. And I would turn it over to Ashley, Valerie, and then Brittany.
Hi, everyone. I'm Ashley Johnson. I am the Re-Up Program Manager.
Hello, everyone. I am the Community Engagement Specialist.
Hi, everyone. My name is Brittany Norman, and I am the Rage Communications Manager. I'll also be helping out with responding and monitoring the chat as well. Thank you guys for joining us.
Let me just see if it's anyone else from the team. I gotta look at I know Chanel, Dr. Phillips is traveling, but I thought I saw her on.
Of course, I'm here. Why would I not be? Why would I not be here? Hi, everyone. I'm gonna briefly. I'm like trying to get through security and stuff in Florida. But hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Chanel Phillips. I'm Director of Operations for Rage and a proud member. I was gonna say lifelong, but it's been like 10 years. Welcome, everyone.
And if you just joined in, we just wanted to know if you wanted to connect with others, want folks to know you're in the Zoom. We're not doing formal introductions of everybody. Drop it in the chat. And then we also launched a poll. We just closed the poll. We do have some people who have never been here before. Have a nice percentage of folks who live and or work in the community. Some people Rage members, some are not. We have a few more polls we'll probably do a little bit later. So going back to our agenda, we're gonna talk a little bit about who Rage is for folks who do not know who we are. Then we're gonna have a guest speaker, Janelle Nelson. She is on the call from Englewood Arts Collective. And then we're gonna do like a kind of a quick recap of some things that has transpired over the last day or so, or either the last couple of weeks. And then we also have some guest speakers from Greater Englewood CDC. We'll do a quick re-up activity report so folks can know what is up with the re-up. And then we're going to talk about some of the vacant schools and some of the organization and progress that's been made. And then kind of transition to our Go Green on Racine development team. Open it up for any announcements and try to close out. I'm hoping by 6 if we can get through all that. I'll just watch the chat, make sure I'm not missing any vital information. Cool. If you are not familiar with how to reach us or some of the platforms that we use, we use our email, hotline, we have a phone number, of course, we're on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, website, all those things. We also call you, we also text you. So if you're definitely a member, we find a way to reach you, but if you would like to reach us, these are some of the mechanisms that you can do so. And just a brief overview about Rage, and I'll really allow any long-term members or folks who know about Rage to jump in and probably add to the background a little bit, only because I talk so much. Everybody knows I do. And my voice be straining. I have my water, but I think it's more people now that can tell the story in the background about Rage if I don't embarrass anybody and call them. So we're pretty much, for folks who don't know, a very organized body. We're a neighborhood association of residents within this community who really, plain and simple, want to see positive change. That's always been why we've got together. That's always been our shared interest. And that it looks like a lot of different things. One of the things I think for us is that we always want to figure out how to mobilize opportunities and resources to the residents of Englewood. And if that's through our network, who have another network and another network, that's what we do. So we always talk about connecting, building, and then we take action. And who are our members, or when we were founded, for folks who don't know, we actually have been founded, we're over 10 years old now, November of 2010. Celebrations coming soon, completely resident led. Most of the people that you see on this call who works for Rage, who's on the board of Rage, live in the community. And that's very, very important in this climate, that you have folks who are rooted in the community, speaking up for the place in which they reside and or work. Totally asset-based. We look at our members as absolutely dynamic superstars who do so much that it just makes Rage look so good. So our residents are the ones who, a lot of things that you see happening in Englewood, behind the scenes, in front of the scenes, they literally come from people who live in a 60621 and 60636 zip code. So shout out to all of them on the call tonight. I could get a little reaction. We can make this a little, like, y'all can toot y'all horns as residents that y'all get a lot of work done and are dynamic people. So who are our members? And we also are open to non-residents as well. It is so many people who have a heart and love for this community that we would be crazy if we denied them the opportunity to work with us. So we connect with them too. Some of them grew up here, grandma here, go to church here, work here. They're welcome to be members too. But of course, our key and our work and some of the exclusive things are usually for folks who currently reside in that community. I'm gonna pause just to see if there's any questions or, okay, cool. And then how do you join? Let me call on, maybe call on Brittany real quick. How do you join Rage real quick?
I was just about to drop the link in the chat. So there's a couple different ways you can get to join Rage, but the main way is by visiting our website, which I will drop the link in the chat to that now. On the website, all you got to do is click membership application. No matter where you stay, you can choose the membership that works for you, whether you're all the way in Rogers Park, you're in Englewood, or you're in South Holland. You can be an affiliate member, executive member, or associate membership. So you can choose which one works best for you. Just go to our website at rageenglewood.org, and then you will immediately start receiving emails from me.
Yes. How do you join? You pay dues. These are annual dues. Been the same since 2010. If it's any folks, I know Chanel is from 2012. This has not changed. This really helps us with our work. And it's also let folks know they're invested in a neighborhood association who is working around the clock for residents. So that's how you join. Link should be in the chat. And hopefully we get some new members before the night is over. I would like to turn it over to, well, first of all, one of our best friends. If I hope she's on, let me see if she's on. She's a Rage friend. Also a part of the Englewood Art Collective. One of those people doing a lot of things behind the scenes, in front of the scenes. Glad to always have Janelle interspace with us. So I will turn it over to you. And then if you need to share, and then do you need to share? Okay. And you
need to be host to do
okay. All right. And now I have it where you can share, but let me know if you need to be host to share. Okay, cool.
Hey, everybody. Okay, so scream if you can't see my screen, but I will try to speak fast and be efficient because you all have a stacked deck for this meeting. So let me just spend 30 seconds saying thank you and just giving thanks and gratitude to Rage for being Rage and doing what you do. The reason why I'm here is to share some information about an initiative that EAC is a part of, or some co-founders of EAC is a part of this summer. And to be quite frank, I was just like, you know, this is an initiative that is somewhat contingent upon community input, and Englewood is one of the neighborhoods that's being piloted with this initiative, and there's no way we could do this without reaching out to Rage and trying to catch up with y'all and reach your members in some way, shape, or form. So to that point, thank you for holding space. Brittany, feel free to keep me honest and cut me off because I know I can talk almost as much as Aisha can. So I'm going to just be really quick and hopefully fast and get the awareness out, because that is the primary intention of me joining this meeting today. And I will leave you guys with a call to action to follow up on this project later. But for now, why am I here? What am I talking about? Party, Public Art Reimagining Tour with you. It is a well-designed, maybe overly designed project that really, at its essence, is a public art planning initiative. And it's something that has never been done before. And I'm calling this a beautiful experiment that I hope as many invested residents, neighbors, locals, community orgs, I mean, you guys are the stakeholders that have the reach. And when we talk about getting the word out on something that we need folks' input on, I'm looking to you all to help us with this. So I'm gonna just scroll through this website And afterwards, I can leave Rage with some links to share out. But for now, if you go to iswpublicart.org, this is the home page, the landing page that I will continue updating to get information out about what this is. But in brief, permanent art in public spaces. Englewood Arts Collective is working with 2 other artist teams this summer to basically consult the city on some incoming funds that's supposed to be coming as part of the city's 5-year capital plan. These are funds that are focused on Invest Southwest neighborhoods, and we're piloting this with Englewood, Bronzeville, Auburn Gresham, and Austin this summer. And the quick who, what, where, and why, it's DCASE, 3 Chicago artist-led teams, and you, the community, the public, the people. It's a planning process. At the end of the summer, we are hoping to put together some, it's called a public art envisioning briefs. And basically, I'm jumping around here, but here's the timeline. Phase 1, some core co-founders of EAC is focusing on an awareness campaign. My job right now is just focusing on helping you guys understand what this is and how to get it in and how to support and how to get your voice heard. But right now it's really just, here's what we're doing, here's what it is, sign up to learn more, sign up to be a part of this. Phase 2, we are collaborating with the Floating Museum, a well-respected group in the city of artists as well. They're going to reach out with different communities or these particular communities and have some deeper discussions about what type of public art you want to see in your community and where. And then phase 3 is where we are collaborating with Vanessa Stokes. She's heavily rooted on the West Side, and she's going to help synthesize some of this information into proposals that we will vet again with some of the stakeholders in these areas and send it to the city and say, yo, this is what Englewood said. They said they would really like to have some type of sculpture, some type of memorial on this corner. And here's another recommendation from the folks. Here's what we heard. So we're gonna put together some proposals, shoot it up to the city, and then hopefully next year, those proposals will go out and different artists can then apply to them. And we are also working and revising, and this is all new. So we are kind of like figuring it out as we go, and certain themes are coming up, and we're making sure that after October, that the city also still connects with you guys so that you all can have a voice in vetting the artists that actually produce the work that you guys are recommending. What we're looking at right now are just some examples of what we mean when we say public art. It's very important to me. It's very important to a lot of artists that we all, no matter if you went to art school or not, or wherever your background is, that we kind of come to a general understanding about the amazing possibilities that art can bring to a community. It's so much more than murals. Murals are dope, and you know I love me a good mural, but public art can be so many other things. And so right now we are at the beginning phase of this initiative, where in July, this month, we are popping up at a couple of events that's already happening in some of these communities, getting in where we can fit in. I know time is tight. We've got just a few weekends left in July, which is why I'm here talking to you guys right now virtually. I'm going to click through to this tab and scroll through some of the language and the themes that are present at our physical pop-ups, and letting you know that we are going to take some of these questions and put them in a virtual survey. So I'm working on the survey now for you all, but we would really like to get some feedback. If you can't meet us at one of our pop-up events, fill out the survey to come, and we will promote that so you know when that's up and live. But we're focusing on themes. What type of themes are coming up for locals in these areas? What type of locations do you think public art should appear? And I know if you ask 100 people, you might get 100 different opinions, but we're really trying to see, are there like certain patterns that keep emerging? And what types of forms of public art? We're not asking you all to define and like sketch out a mural. We're just saying like, Do you want something that is focused on safety or something that represents culture? That's what we mean by themes. And these artist teams are here to help you guys with the language and understand the purpose and really just have like robust, not just giving you all one Google form to fill out, but really have like deep discussions so we can like let the city know here's what the people are thinking. This map right here represents Greater Englewood boundaries. You know it very well. And it's also zooming in on the Invest Southwest corridor specifically. That was the origin of this as far as the city is concerned. But I mean, real talk, as far as we're concerned, we hope to get feedback that lets DKs and the administration know that, yeah, we could put something along the corridor, but it can go elsewhere as well. And yeah, I'm just gonna keep scrolling. I'm gonna slow down on my talking. These are some of the visuals that are in 3D form at our pop-ups, but again, this is all gonna be transcribed in some way on a survey for you guys as well. And I'm also looking to make public maybe our catalog so that when you do have time, or if you're interested, we put together an extensive art catalog to help us understand different ways that art can activate. This is a community-led initiative. This is something different. We are not going to go into this where the city says, oh, here's some funds and we decided we're going to do X here. We're actually leading with the artist, using the artist as the tools to kind of call information from the community. And that's why we call it a party, because we try to make it fun. It's a little different. It's very new. Our timeline is tight. And at the very least, I consider this a beautiful exercise in showing not just other neighborhoods in Chicago and possibly nationwide, but also showing bureaucratic entities that there's many different ways to work with communities, especially communities of color, and beautiful things can happen when you let the people lead. So yeah, it's very organic right now. We're still in phase 1. These are pictures of just some of the loose stakeholder talks and neighborhood walks we've been having with individuals. We popped up lately or recently at the Vinyl and Vittles events. And we are hoping to try to throw more events on the calendar. And if we can't catch you at an event, like I said, we are going to update the website. And I am ever thankful to Rage for being just another arm and extension and conduit for helping us communicate to you all. So it's all love. We love art. We love our home and where we grew up. And yeah, I'm not going to get too woo-woo and emotional, but that's what this is. So iswpublicart.org for you techie folks. You can always follow Englewood Arts Collective on Instagram. We will continuously update there. And if you have questions, you can also reach us via this website as well. I'm going to make a little portal where you can send an email. But right now, if you want to sign up for phase 2, you click here and it will take you to a form where you can sign up to our contact list and stay in touch with us on this project this summer. July is almost done and it is on and popping, and yeah, it's a party. So thank you. I'm gonna hold for, do we have time for a few questions? If there are questions, I don't know, I'm gonna start.
Probably about a minute. We're
okay.
A little over.
That's okay. Thank you for your time. If you all got questions, you can sign up to that contact list on the website, and yeah, we will reach out to you as we figure this out. So.
And I don't want to cut people off. If there's anybody who, got thoughts on their mind immediately, I would definitely want to open the floor. If anybody had any questions, you can put your hands up. Okay. All right. Thank you, Janelle. And then any links that you want to share, you could definitely just put it in the chat as well before you go. Thank you.
Will do. Thank you.
So I know we were going a little bit back and forth in the chat. I don't know with Mr. DeAndre. We will talk to him offline. We're not sure exactly what he's referring to, but I know me and Rhea will talk offline about that. But as you know, it's always something popping in Englewood. Is it Ashe? You had a question, Ashe?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm a film. I'm working on a film. I live in the Englewood community. I was just trying to get her Instagram and whatnot because I'm looking to collaborate with a lot of residents and community builders within the community.
Okay. Yep. So if you can drop in the chat, that'd be great. And then also put your info in the chat as well. All right. So just a couple of things. I'm sure some of us are on the call and some of us have been looking at the news. Just been a few things going on within the community, and also just in the last month, that seems like, June hit and now we're already talking about August. So in June 25th, we launched our So Fresh Saturday, kind of a street festival, really, really different from our normal in the park sessions, but definitely was a different feel. Brought a carnival ride out, had a lot of residents who typically don't come on this side of Halsted, as some people say in Englewood, come on this side. Just really new to Englewood. We did a raffle on that day, was able to bless 11 families with the re-up utility bill assistance. Really a good time. We are not particularly sure if what So Fresh Saturday is going to evolve to. We'll just say it publicly. But it might be a little bit different from what people know as So Fresh Saturday. So stay tuned. It's always something Rage is cooking up. But for the street festival that people have been saying, the Union Street Festival, we might be on to something. So we'll see what happens next year. Anybody want to comment about So Fresh? And we just wanted to quickly share a recap. We have a few more. Yes, Ashay. Yep. Go ahead. You have your hand up, or this is from last time?
Oh, my bad. That's from last time.
Okay, no problem.
So I'm gonna hit your inbox too, because I follow you on Instagram. I want to do some collaboration with you too, so I'm gonna hit your inbox.
Okay. Thank you. And then also a couple of staff updates as we introduce Valerie. Valerie Bonds, and I'll let her talk a little bit about who she is and how she connected with Rage. And then also, sadly, all of us are so sad. Phyllis is retiring. She is leaving Rage on everybody. I know some people know Phyllis, love Phyllis. She's been great. And she's leaving. Her last day will be Friday. We are working towards figuring that out. But I want to give Valerie the floor just for about 2 minutes, just to share maybe your journey with Rage, where you connected, and your new role as a community engagement specialist. If she's still on, I know she's still here.
Okay, hey everyone. My name is Valerie. I've been with Rage since 2017, and I've been progressing with volunteering more. And now that I'm a staff member, I hope to engage with everyone more and be a great asset to the team. And so I can't wait to work with everyone.
Thank you, Valerie. Valerie met us at Hamilton Park. So I know a lot of the Hamilton Park Cultural Council is the Englewood Community Cultural Council and Hamilton Park Council are all on the call. I saw a few names. We met her. You were what, 17 then, I want to say, or I don't want to give your age away, but very young. Yeah, about 19. And very, very interested in community work. So we have a very young one who joined the team. So we're excited to have you on board. Sad that Phyllis is leaving. Glad to have Valerie on, but we will be moving forward. Congratulations to E.G. Woods. I don't know if the team is on the call or not. If you have not seen, they just was awarded $3.8 million for the renovation of 1022 right over there by Morgan. I hope I'm not embarrassing the team, but let's just give a reaction. He was E.G. Woods is also a partner with Go Green on Racine and has just done phenomenal work. As you may know, they are opening 1122 very soon in August, and this is their second building. So good news to come. That's some community hot news. And if Dion is there or anybody from E.G. Woods, feel free to jump in if you want to say anything. I know it's exciting. No, where are they at? I see a couple of Englewood members. I'm giving you the floor. Okay. So a few of us are also a part of the Community Advisory Council for Kenny King College. And you may have heard in the news and definitely in the Sun Times and that unfortunately the current president, Dr. Greg Thomas, was let go. This is an ongoing conversation with actually a lot of folks on the call. We actually supposed to have a call today at 4 o'clock to talk about what actually happened, what was the grounds of this. Dr. Thomas has been, and KKC, I would say in the last few years, have been a great partner to a lot of us. We've been utilizing the space, working with the advisory council, and had some inkling that something fishy was happening, but really wasn't sure. And then unfortunately, we got this news. Anybody from the advisory council may want to say anything or any thoughts? I know that a lot of us are on emails and it's a couple of meetings. Looking at Rami, Cecile, is Marcus Robinson here, or anybody you want to add any other? I don't have many updates, just know it's happening, and something that I don't think that is not going to be a continuous conversation on actually what happened. Oh, I don't hear you, Cecile. Are you talking? You just talking? I don't hear you.
I was gonna say it's very confusing, so I hope we get clarity.
Yeah. Betty, you had your hand raised. Go ahead. Oh, was you on the call? Yep, she probably was on the call. Go ahead, Betty. You know how to unmute yourself? I know Betty probably was on the call, but it's an ongoing investigation. It's going to be, I know, some continual conversations, and whatever we know, we will share back. Is Ria still here? I do want to give an opportunity for the Greater Englewood CDC. They were planned to come on our last one and unfortunately had an emergency and said that they were going to give us an update on what they're doing with the special service area. Ria, are you there?
I'm here. Sorry.
There you go.
Yeah,
Okay.
can you hear me? Yeah, sorry. I'm on my computer. Went weird for a second, but I'm on my phone. Can everybody hear me okay? Good. Okay, so where we are with the special service area, we're halfway there. We have to submit our final list of property owner signatures by August 1st. So we're well on the way to getting that done. But if anyone knows property owners, we're still gathering signatures, but it's been positive so far. So we, as you know, the SSA boundaries are going to be on Halsted Street from 63rd Place to 65th, from 63rd Street, from Wallace to Ashland, and also from Ashland Boulevard from 55th to 71st. So we have submitted the preliminary application. I wanted to let everyone know we are actually hosting a third community meeting. If you wanted to learn more about the SSA, the city will be presenting at that meeting, and that's going to be at Greater Englewood CDC on Thursday, July 28th from 1 to 3 p.m. So feel free to share that information out. I'll also send you information on that. We'll talk about the SSA and services that it will provide and just how that whole program works. And then I also wanted to make you aware that we did receive our contract from CDOT, so we have control of the Englewood Plaza and Boombox. So that's exciting news. So we'd love to work with everyone to host some wonderful events out there and to use that space. The Boombox is a pop-up for business owners. So we have some grant funding, and we're looking for more grant funding to help support our business owners and just not just business owners, but the community to come out and have activities on the space. So that's where we are.
Yeah, thank you, Ria. Any questions or what? I know we walked through, we didn't go through what an SSA is. Do you want to just maybe quickly say what a special service
Sure.
area is and what it could do?
Yeah, so a special services area, if I should say, when we are selected, I think will be number 80. So there are about 80 of those around the city of Chicago. So there are designations through the Department of Planning and Development. It's called a special service area. So what happens is there is an incremental tax increase on the property owners within that special service area, and by which those dollars will be used to do beautification for the area, to handle security for the area, to do, whatever upgrades we have. It's really to take those areas that are commercial business areas and use those dollars to support the upgrade and beautification of that. We're in luck because I've been talking to CDOT. So as you might know, there's a corridor redesign and rebuild for 63rd Street in Halsted. So we're working with CDOT to collaborate with them to take advantage of the things that CDOT is investing in that area as well. And so we can provide additional support and services for the SSA. So like flower pots, seating, new lights, banners. One of the things we talked about is we'll designate the area. So there'll be banners when people know that they're entering this SSA area. Just a lot of, we're looking at different things, different artwork that can designate the business corridors and help. In that way, we hope to promote and enhance traffic to our businesses and business owners. And the SSA, once it's approved, they are in increments of 10 years. So that SSA will go for 10 years before it has to be renewed. Any questions? And we'll also, we'll also have an advisory board that's made up of the community, the property owners on the SSA, so that you'll have a say-so in what activities and funding and what type of support will be provided for the SSA. It'll be a board of commissioners that will support that SSA.
I think that's it. If anybody have any questions about the Greater Englewood CDC, the SSA, what's happening on our commercial corridors, please either put it in the chat, or Ria, you could leave your contact information as well in the chat.
Yep, I put my email information in the chat, so feel free to reach out, and love to, I'll put more information about the community meeting, and feel free to reach out and join us at the community meeting.
Perfect. So a lot of folks keep hearing about the re-up. So we always wanted to tell people what's up with the re-up every time we meet. Ria is also a re-up working group member. And so we just always want to take space because that's a lot of our activity. A lot of the work that you see Rage is doing is really part of the re-up. So we always like to reiterate our value statement of the re-up. It's really the Rage Economic Upliftment Project, now program. It's rooted in collaboration, transparency, and its unapologetic love for the Greater Englewood community and its residents. We are guided by our pride, our rich history. Of course, we're all working towards equity, prosperity, and legacy building. And so we have a lot of activity going on in a lot of different facets, and we're always just proud to share, what's up with the re-up. And so for folks who don't know, and I'll bring in Ashley, our main kind of pillars of the re-up is rooted in entrepreneurship, and that's really local entrepreneurship, gainful employment of our residents within the community, community-based real estate development. You just heard us, put a shout out to E.G. Woods, somebody from the community, building with the community. Same thing with Go Green or Racine. That's very important to our work here. And then also home ownership. So we do a lot of different programs around that and expanding it as we speak. So I'm going to turn it over, I think actually to Samaya, because we have a Re-Up Our Future Scholarship, for her to give us a quick update on the scholars and the scholarships, and then we'll turn it over to Ashley.
Thank you. All right. So, as many of you may know, Rage created the Re-Up Our Future Scholarship in 2021 to award Englewood High School seniors who will be attending college a monetary award. So for 2022, we decided to expand a little bit. We'll be awarding more than one scholar the scholarship. So we have two different scholarships. Last year we were able to award four. This year we don't know like the numbers yet, but um, we have an evaluation team who is going through the applications. So we'll have an update to each scholar no later than Monday. We'll also be having an inaugural scholarship luncheon, and I'm so excited about for the scholars to just celebrate them before they go off to college. So we'll have some more updates coming soon.
Thank you. And for those who don't know, Samaya Butler was one of those scholarships is named after her for her excellence at HBCU. So it's really encouraging others. And so thank you all. We extended the HBCU to last Friday. Thank you to our members who got the word out. We're excited to see who we can assist with the Re-Up Our Future. And I will turn it over to Ashley.
It seems like my internet might be going in and out.
Oh no.
Hopefully you can all hear me. Let me know if you can't. I can drop some stuff in the chat. So I'm Ashley Johnson. I'm the Re-Up Program Manager. There's a link in the chat to learn more about the Re-Up. So I want to update you on the activities that we've been doing for the past couple of months. Our number one activity has been connecting with our Black-owned businesses through business visits and calls. So we've been visiting the businesses on the corridor. Primarily, we've done Halstead, 63rd, and parts of 71st. And we are going to continue to go throughout the Englewood area. You can view the Greater Englewood Black-owned Business Directory in the link in the chat also. So we've been visiting the businesses. We're dropping off a Black-owned Englewood business poster for them to display. And we've also been deploying any resources that we have or know about and signing people up for our mailing list, shooting content for our social media that we post to spread the word about their businesses. On rainy days, we've been substituting business visits with calls. I generated a map that highlights about 400 businesses that could potentially be Black-owned within the area. And so we've been calling those businesses. And through these visits, we visited over 20 businesses that we have listed, and we've been able to add 12 new businesses to the directory. So we now have 86 businesses on the directory, and we should be able to surpass our goal of having 100 businesses on the directory by September. So I'm going to also drop a link in the chat to add your business to the business directory. And
it's going in and out a little bit, Ashley.
Like to volunteer some time.
Do you hear?
To go on these visits or take calls from your home. You can eat.
I gotta give her a signal. Your sound is going a little in and out. In and out.
I shared my notes with Brittany if she wants to read them, and I can drop the links.
Yeah, or sometimes the video can go off. Either one, or we could just I don't know. Sometimes when your video go off, it helps with Wi-Fi. You could try, but if not, we could definitely help you.
Sure, let me try it this way.
Oh, you sound really good now.
Okay, great. So I'll go back a little bit. On the rainy days, we've been substituting visits with calls. We have a map highlighting over 400 potential Black-owned businesses in the area. So we've been calling them, and we've been able to visit over 20 listed businesses, and we've added 12 businesses that we previously did not have listed onto the directory. So we now have 86 businesses on the directory, and we should be able to surpass our goal of 100 businesses on the directory by September. So if you would like to volunteer some time to go out on these visits with us, which we're primarily doing at the end of the week on Fridays, sometimes Thursdays, about 3 times a month, or to make calls from your home, you can email me, and my email address is in the chat. We also had a working credit workshop on July 11th. This was a credit building workshop in collaboration with the organization Working Credit NFP. It was piloted with the thought of us potentially adding it to the By the Block curriculum. It was 1 hour long, and most participants said that they learned new things about credit that should be able to help them on their journey. The workshop also culminated in an offer for each person who attended to receive free credit counseling for 12 months. And we are in the process of discussing a longer-term partnership to offer these workshops again in the future. And if you would like to sign up for that 12 months of free credit counseling, there's a link in the chat for that. We have the 4th cohort of By the Block starting next Monday, July 25th. We've registered 100 people, and we're expecting around 25 to 40 to complete the entire series. I've been doing outreach to each cohort every quarter after they finish to find out the challenges they are continuing to face and the needs that they have, and deploy resources to them at the time. We have 5 participants that have purchased homes, and we're working to increase that number as we address the barriers and needs of these future Englewood homeowners. We are also continually seeking out landlords, Englewood landlords specifically of multi-unit properties, as well as other real estate professionals, agents, brokers, lenders, appraisers, attorneys, developers, contractors, etc., to build out a robust offering to our By the Block participants as they go on their home buying journeys. You can add professionals or send the link to real estate professionals that you may know or landlords to sign up. I just put in the chat. And we also have next Wednesday on August 3rd, the next Re-Up Working Group meeting. That's going to be at 4:30. And I will put the link in the chat to join the Re-Up Working Group. And that is all the updates. If anyone has any questions, you can ask them.
And we can look at the chat. Thank you, Ashley.
All right,
Busy.
thank you.
Definitely what's up with the re-up. So as the re-up continues to go, I think you guys have heard about our new partnership with the Cook County Land Bank, where we were able to gift 9 of our members land at no cost. They were still in the process of getting them closed and getting their deeds over to them. It was a huge, I think, step forward in terms of how we can really make sure that the residents here who live here, the homeowners here, can get additional properties, additional homes if they can own the whole block. That's always been our goal. So we had about 60 members who, of course, had vacant land on their blocks, but only 9 was able to get matched up with the Cook County Land Bank. Not sure if that's what the gentleman's project was, but this was a partnership with RAGE and the Land Bank, probably since the times of the Housing Task Force of the Englewood Quality of Life. And so we are continue to having that partnership where we are actually looking at homes that we'll be able to develop, and also work with local developers in the community to do a few of these homes on their list. So we had about 50 homes to go through. We narrowed it down. We're probably going to start with a good 4 or 5, and more details will come about. We will also be soliciting more real estate developers, small developers who will be willing to work with us in the confines of the re-up. Our goal is to do 2 flat homes because we already know that's the majority of our inventory. Cook County Land Bank has tons of inventory, but we also want to make sure that we are selling at a very affordable rate, especially for our buy the block participants. So more to come. I think we've announced before that we're the community partner for the micro market recovery program. Don't know if we put that in there, but this is really a program within the city to help stabilize the housing here in Englewood. And we always show the map of where this area is. There are additional resources in terms of down payment assistance, possibly TIF rehab monies. We will be continuously getting that information out. We always show this map so folks can know what we're actually up against. These dots all represent the vacant housing properties within our community. Over 50%, I think we're about 50%, 48% is vacant in Englewood. And so it's a huge, massive project that we're trying to chip away at, a few houses at a time. I definitely will leave it open for any comments. And then we're also partnering with Neighborhood Housing Services on July 30th for actual Englewood Resource Fair, Housing Fair. We'll be doing a trolley ride. We'll be looking at some of the available homes that are for sale for here at Englewood in the MMRP area. So we'll go through it. There should be a link. Unfortunately, the trolley ride is sold out, but don't be alarmed. We're taking a waiting list. So for anyone who is interested and want us to know they're interested, you can just put simply a 1 in the chat and we will follow up because we're going to get a list together, and folks don't show up, we'll have a list of folks that can get on. And Leon's is still moving forward. I think folks know or folks who don't know, we've been in the process of pursuing this building at 59th and Racine with the Cook County Land Bank. Actually, we're hoping to close, I say, after every meeting in the next 30 days. This has been a long journey for us. We bidded on this property last year. So we're actually going on a year since our bid. So tons of new architectural designs, tons of new momentum. On 59th, we have 2 more Black-owned businesses that we know who are also purchased buildings on the 59th Street corridor. We're looking to start something as all new property owners on 59th, and also have a potential one that is right down the street from us. There's also 5901 South Racine is on sale, a little bit too high for the space, but if you know Black-owned businesses looking for commercial spaces, please send them to 59th. It's tons of inventory. These are just some of our older renderings. We have new ones coming up soon, and hopefully we will be on the call talking about a grant that we got from the city to help us with this project in a few months. That is our re-up update. As we said, you can get a lot of the information or get involved. Look at the Black-owned business directory, all at the reup.org. All right. I think folks know from the work of Rage that, and with teamwork and so many other partners, that soon as that Englewood was targeted of closing schools, we knew that we had another major crisis. We had the most schools within any community in Chicago that were closed. That was in 2013. And many of us have done design charrettes and surveys and walked through schools. And since this has happened in 2013, the good thing about it is that we never stopped that work. We continue to be in front of that work, regardless if we had money, development, we didn't care. We wanted to make sure that community was at the forefront of what happened to these schools. And so I'm gonna bring Ron on because Ron is once a member of Rage, but also has been working on the Earl School, which is in the West Englewood area. And he'll share a little bit of updates about that. But then we'll also talk about some of the work we're all doing with Go Green on Racine with the school at 62nd and Racine. So Ron, do you want to be able to share, or do you want me to pull up your slides? You tell me.
If you could pull them up, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, let me.
Sorry, I'm on my phone. I have two starving children. You know how it might be if they wind up deceased while we're giving this presentation because they starved to death. I'll feel bad, but I'm pretty sure since they had lunch, they'll be able to make it.
You already know. That's why I try to get people off by 6. I'm trying to do it before dinner. Take it away.
You know how
Ron.
it is. Children and food.
I think your internet is acting up a little bit.
So
let me send on a chat. Ron, your internet is.
I took my video.
Yeah, there you go.
How's this?
Yep, perfect.
I shut off my video. So I'm happy to say that Englewood got its LIHTC award. So we did receive notice in June of this year of our low income housing tax credit award. And we also did receive our state historic tax credit award as well. So those are the two key funding pieces that are highly competitive. And so those are really, really exciting things to say that we've achieved that. And so it may seem like a long time since we started this project. We were in competition against others. And through the great work of folks in the Englewood neighborhood, we kept refining the concept until it became something that rose to the top in the scoring pile. And I'm honored to say that we were among some of the top scorers in this award round. So that's awesome. We are going to be moving forward to close in the spring of next year. But in order for us to get there, it's incredibly important to us, as you've heard Aisha say, that we bring this money into Englewood and we keep it in Englewood. So we're looking, and we will be looking for contractors who will be from the Englewood neighborhood. We've got PAC community leaders and Dion at E.G. Wood, or Beehive, I should say, are part of the project. But we've got a long list of needs that we're going to have for subcontractors. So over the next several months, as we gear up towards bringing this to close, we'll be doing a lot more meetings in the neighborhood, probably at the school itself. And as part of those, we'll be looking to develop a supply chain pipeline of people who could do work. And that could even be employees to existing companies. So it doesn't necessarily just have to be contractors. It could be folks who are in need of employment in many of the different trades areas, but also in areas such as cleaning and some design work and some other things. So there's opportunity there for people. But more immediate than that is we will be working with Aisha and Teamwork to get some meetings on the books to re-engage Englewood residents on what the project is. We know that people move around, and we know that people who've participated would love an update. We want to share, what we have to share and close up some of the final details with you guys so that we all build a project we're all incredibly proud of.
I don't know if you told anybody who you was really, Ron.
Okay.
You just went right in about Earl.
I went right in because I was having internet problems.
You already know we on our time, but just maybe introduce yourself and a lot of folks don't actually know about this project because when we first embarked on Earl, this was right before COVID. So we were just starting to do some design work and was starting to share the ideas and the plan, but maybe just quickly so that people could just know what's going to happen there and what was some of the feedback we got from some of the residents that we worked with.
Absolutely. So my name is Ron Kluwer with Gorman and Company, and I serve as Illinois Market President. We have a number of affordable housing developments across the state of Illinois, and we marry those affordable housing developments to services that we hear residents around the community tell us they need, and we focus the development to meet the needs of local residents. So through community engagement with Rage and teamwork, we, as Aisha said, we did a number of in-person meetings. We did some virtual meetings, and Aisha was great capturing information over Instagram and other platforms so that we could design not just the physical environment, but the service-rich environment as well. So the Earl School will contain 63 affordable units, 1 and 2 bedroom units, because we understand that those are where the greatest need are for housing based on apartment size or unit size. There will be a very large common area in this that includes the old gym that will serve as a multi-function room, multi-purpose room. Rage can have meetings in there. Other community members can have meetings in there, but it'll also be used for the residents of the property. We did design it so that community room is accessible through a separate entrance, not just through the apartments. So that way we could have that community involvement and have that be, built into the space, so to speak. We're focused on folks who need affordable housing, who are looking to stabilize their housing situation. We knew a number of folks had an at-risk chance of homelessness because their current situation was unstable, and we wanted to provide stable, affordable housing to smaller families and single individuals. And so we're able to do that there. We are using historic tax credits to return the school back to its original design on the historic piece, and then modernize the 2 adjacent schools that were added on over time. So there are two additions to this property that need to be severely modernized and, in order to be used for apartments. We'll be adding elevators to the building. We'll be restoring the exterior facade, and we'll be putting in a number of other amenities like a computer lab. Each unit will have washer and dryer and all of its appliances. And then we'll also have an exercise facility, an outdoor patio, and playground area. And then we'll preserve the grass to the south as common space for the neighbors to use up until we get to our phase 2, which phase 2 could be infill of some home ownership products that we would do, collectively with Rage and teamwork again. Does that give a good overview, Asa?
Yes, that was good, because I
Good.
wanted folks to know, a little bit like this project isn't, it's new, but it's not that new, right? So the
Right.
work was, a lot of the groundwork was done already. And so I thought it made sense, well, at least we all did as part of Go Green on Racine, to co-develop the actual Wood School. And we could all probably chime in here and then talk a little bit more about some other facets of Go Green on Racine. So do you want to give any updates just from what you have on the slides, or I just want to pull anybody in at this point?
So from my perspective, again, really good news that these projects can be incredibly complicated to get funding and sometimes take multiple times, such as the Earl School. In this particular school, because of the heavy lifting Go Green did on the front side and helped to really get the project on the map, we were able to get the 9% tax credit award from the city of Chicago in January of this past year. They forward awarded credits, which means they said they'll fund us actually in 2023 as opposed to 2022, which is good because it gave us time to move forward with additional design work, et cetera. And so we don't anticipate we'll close until after March of next year, 2023, but it'll be the same thing. We anticipate the need to engage a number of residents, subcontractors, et cetera, in the redevelopment of the school. And we're doing it all in partnership with you guys at the Go Green team. And so I want to give you guys space to talk about it because it's your baby, and I'm glad to be part of the ride.
Thank you, Ron. And if anyone have any particular questions, probably more so about oral and or anything that was discussed, please feel free to, raise your hand or drop it in the chat. Okay. And I'm gonna just make sure. Yeah, go ahead, Senna.
Just wanted to add one piece about the regenerator is that it's not only those 42 units of housing, both 1 and 2 bedroom units for families, but also a health and wellness ecosystem on the first floor, which will include a health center, an urgent care, and a pharmacy. So just wanted to add that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Aisha.
Yeah, and we could go into, it's a few of us on the call. For folks who don't know, the Go Green on Racine development group consists of Iman, the Inner City Muslim Action Network. It's a couple of their staff and Rami on the call. And then it also consists of E.G. Woods, which is led by Dion Lucas. I'm not sure if he's on a call. If he is, he may be running late. And then also Teamwork Englewood. Cecile, the executive director, is on a call, as well as Rage, and we're all on a call. So we wanted to just talk a little bit more about the project, as we talked about with Ron, where the school was, but also some exciting things with the Fresh Market and with the Green Line. So Senna, did you want to talk a little bit about the Fresh Market? And I don't know if that's a separate slides or you want to share your screen.
Can I share my screen, Aisha?
Sure. Yeah.
Thanks. All right. Okay, so thank you for having us on today. It's really exciting to be here and to hear all the amazing things that you are doing. We know why all of you are so busy. So just a short update on the Go Green Community Fresh Market. The market is really meant to be a neighborhood grocery store that is committed to increasing access to nutritious foods, improving health outcomes of residents, and also supporting, basically serving as a platform for local vendors and food entrepreneurs while creating a thriving food ecosystem on the South Side. The market is open 7 days a week from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. every single day. As Asia mentioned, it is part of a larger vision called Go Green on Racine, which I'm sure has been brought up at Rage meetings in past Rage meetings. And this vision really aims to address some of the critical needs that came up in the Englewood quality of life planning sessions, and really starts to bridge the health and wealth gap that we know exists in the neighborhood. So the few projects that this is a part of is the Fresh Market, the regenerator that you just heard an update from Ron about. There's a Racine Village, there's a broader transit advocacy campaign that Asia just mentioned, and also a housing strategy. And the Fresh Market was really our anchor project. So this was the first project that we broke ground on, and also the first project that we have launched. A few things about the Fresh Market is one, we're really working hard to increase access. So one, we have like a robust rewards program. We call it the Limelight Rewards. We have already 1,600 members, and we've given 630 members significant discounts to date based on their membership. We have the link, so we accept EBT, but we also have the link match program, which enables any which gives you matching vouchers for produce for EBT purchases. So if you spend $5, you get $5 worth of produce free. We also have a weekly senior discount day that's every Thursday, and we're offering 10% off for every resident that is 55 years and over. And we launched that in May, and we have provided 77 discounts to date. We have a bi-weekly sales flyer where we put certain items at very competitive prices, actually very discounted prices, and on seasonal items, on items that are connected to specific health benefits, etc. And then we do one-off promotional events every now and then. So for Juneteenth, our largest promotional event yet was a 50% off store-wide. And then for Eid al-Adha, which was on July 10th or 11th, we did a 50% off on meat. So between those 2 days, we provided nearly $8,500 for support local vendors. So we have 40 plus local are on our roster. So if you walk into the market, we don't just have stuff from, you know, the Testas and the Liparis and whatever, the center store kind of stuff, but we also have local vendors and entrepreneurs that we're trying to support. And 40 of them are displayed at the market. You will see sort of BIPOC owned signs, you know, local signs, and that way you kind of know what you're buying. We of those 40 local vendors, 17 are just Black owned businesses. And the top selling items at the market are actually Black food entrepreneurs. And some examples are just sandwiches, Imani's bean pies, Chef Nairobi, etc. Then just a few things here is like, we obviously, one of our goals is to help create a thriving food ecosystem, and working with community efforts and events that are already in place is really a big part of that. So just some examples of things we have done in partnership. Of course, this is not an exhaustive list, but for June 16th, we worked with St. Bernard, Teamwork Englewood, and the beloved Community Health Center for the Juneteenth Wellness Community and Wellness event at 63rd and Halstead, which was a huge success. We gave out $150 gift cards that both Teamwork Englewood and Iman made possible for residents. We also have been tabling at all sorts of community events at Kennedy King College, Volunteers of America, the Wear Orange event. We did the Chicago Food Policy Action Council, and we've been working with Ada McKinley on distributing almost $1,000 in products from the fresh market to residents. We're also looking forward to the Stomp the Yard event that is happening on August 6th. We have 7 full-time staff, and we are now looking for, we're hiring for a full-time cook. So if you or anyone you know is interested, please email freshmarket@imancentral.org, because we are looking for candidates for that position. Our average wage is $20 an hour, and our base wage, our lowest wage in the market, is $16 an hour. And we've had a fresh market steering committee that since way back, and actually Asia and was even on that committee. Cecile probably was as well. But since 2018, we have been like, really, this committee has been working to envision and create traction and momentum around the market. And they were doing that even before we had raised any funding for the market. Now is the moment, now that we are launched, we are sort of putting out a call to expand that fresh market steering committee. So I'm saying that here to say, if you are interested, we would love to have you join the fresh market steering committee. And we can probably share a more formal invitation for that, via a flyer or something in the near future. Some resource sharing that we're really excited about is we you're free to use our conference rooms on the second floor of the market. So we typically hold the EQLI meetings up there on the second floor. We give out the room to the Englewood Chamber of Commerce. All Go Green partners and beyond, all Englewood partners are welcome to use both the conference rooms on the upstairs on the second floor of the market. It's very well equipped, and with Wi-Fi and all the state-of-the-art digital technology that you might need to hold your meetings. And we've also been extending the kitchen, our kitchen, the deli kitchen in the market, for Zoom cooking classes with advocates for community wellness. Some things we're trying to do on improving health outcomes. I mean, this is a goal for us, and obviously we have just launched, so there's a long way for us to go, but really it is about programming. So we're really, trying to do more kitchen table talks that shows you live demonstrations of cooking, and while talking about movements around food equity and food justice and food policies, but also doing more specific health and wellness programs like exercise and wellness workshops, or managing depression workshops, or communication skills workshops, or self-care, or art and stress workshops. And all of these are happening at the Fresh Market. If you follow us on social media, you will know exactly when these events are taking place. So we are both on Instagram and on Facebook. And if you want to stay tuned, join us at GGC, that's Go Green Community Fresh Market. And thank you.
No, thank you, Sina. And first of all, this is such a big project, and it is so much with each project that I want to just say, and we have more. We have more that's going on. Thank you for sharing. We're going to talk about more of the other facets of the Go Green Racine projects, but if anybody had any thoughts or questions, or if anybody else wanted to add, you want me to pull up the transit piece, Cecile, so we can kind of talking about
yes.
on the work that we're doing now, that we started, and we're now resuming. Hold on, let me get the right one. And maybe, let me find it. Do you guys see this? And anybody, I think, we have leads, we're gonna talk about it, but if anybody from Go Green or Racine wanna jump in, and we gotta still be mindful of time, but go ahead, Cecile. Maybe
Yeah, I'm gonna talk really fast. Hey, everybody, good evening. So one big part of the Go Green or Racine vision is about addressing the transportation gap that we have in Englewood. So the Fresh Market, the Regenerator, all of this was about looking at the assets that the Racine corridor has. It's not always a part of city-based planning, right? But it's an important artery for residents with all the parks, libraries, skating rinks, schools, and our projects. But unfortunately, 63rd and Racine train station was closed in the mid-90s, and for no reason at all, right? It was supposed to be closed for renovations, never opened back up. This is another example of disinvestment that had happened during that time period. And so part of our work is to see how we can reopen the train station, Go Green or Racine. We can go to the next slide, please. So the transportation access gap actually proves to impact things like the health and wellness of people. It limits the access of jobs that you can go to on public transportation. So these are some of the numbers that we use in our first proposal to Chicago Pride that talks about that a closure of a train station just isn't about the closure of the train station. It can really actually impact the economic stability of a community when people can't always get to places on time or have further times to travel. This even came up in some of the early health and wellness work in East July as well. So the next slide. So part of the effort, doing the work of Regenerator, like Ron has talked about, the Fresh Market that opened, and there's more, but the transit advocacy work was actually something we were thinking about was going to be long term. But because of some of the opportunities that have showed up in recovery investment across the city, county, and state, there's an opportunity to actually advocate for these funds to come directly to Englewood with a very transformative project like opening the Green Line section. Go to the next one. And so we all know that 63rd Street was a huge hub. Yep, perfect. And part of opening Racine Corridor will actually support both the Fresh Market, E.G. Wood project, all the way to the Regenerator, and it actually could benefit the Re-Up project by allowing access to go to Racine all the way to 59th Street. So it's a really important train station to open. And so, like we were sharing, the longer commute time is apparent with this closure. How long it takes folks to get to either Ashland or Hofstra to get to downtown has been impactful. When we look at the numbers of jobs, there's always a lack of job representation when you look at issues around transportation access. When we look at other communities that have better access to jobs, the proof is in the pudding, and sometimes that also translates to more economic viability for those people who live in those regions that are saturated with train stations. Unfortunately, that doesn't happen here for the Englewood community with the closure of 63rd and Racine. I'm not gonna read all that, so I think I summarized it. And so what we're really asking for is transit-oriented development to happen here in Greater Englewood, which does not happen a lot in communities of color. We see this phenomenon in other cities, other parts of the city, but not really here. Not only will it help with the access to transportation for all of the different things from health to job placement, it will also benefit economically for both the 63rd and Racine corridor in Greater Englewood. And it would mean job opportunities for the construction, for all the different amenities that construction workers or development actually benefits in a corner. Look, all those folks are gonna need somewhere to go to lunch. They're gonna go to the Fresh Market, right? So what we're asking for is there has been some TOD movement in the South Side. We want to have that movement too, especially in Greater Englewood, especially since a lot of TODs actually came from tips in Englewood to support TODs other places. We want that money to stay here in our community and be able to benefit the opening of this train station.
Yeah, and just to add to that, they're voting. Did it go through? Do we know if it passed through Ethics Committee today or Rules Committee?
I'm not sure.
We don't know, but it's on the table right now at City Council that we really need to have our aldermen on board supporting ETOD specifically for Englewood. And maybe Rami, any of us could talk about this if we, any other Go Green or Racine partners. Rami, you want to jump in?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I know we're at time, and I just want to say, like, this is such an inspiring thing to be a part of, just listening, because all of it is so connected. Even everything that you were talking about in the beginning, the home acquisitions, all those 42 units of housing in the regenerator is not just about providing affordable rental units. It's really about home ownership, because each one of those 42 units could be incubated to eventually become homeowners all alongside the corridor. Having this green line is not just about this dope center. We want it to be, and I think it has to be. You heard Janelle in the beginning, it all like really comes full circle, because the artists that we have access to are some of the greatest artists, not only in Chicago, but I really think from my travels across the country, we have the dopest artists in the country that are centered around work in Englewood. And we think about the artwork that this center can become a real, again, dynamic destination site, not unlike what folks on 53rd, 43rd with our 55th on the Green Line have been able to do, the Astor Gates projects. We think we have the possibility of doing those types of things here. We're working with many of the same people, have many of the same vision. Lastly, it's an economic project. Think about $80 to $100 million of construction that goes back into Englewood. And it's not an ask at this point. We're preparing a press release and an advisory that we'll hopefully send out soon and get everyone mobilized. This should be a demand at this point to right a wrong, an economic social injustice that was carried out by previous administrations, and it just gone neglected for many years. So when you think about all of the messaging, this is not just about opening up lines for ridership and for homing and housing opportunities. It's about jobs. It's about economic opportunity, and this is reparative economic justice in play. And it's so critical that community voices are the ones that are demanding this, so that when we win this, and this is going to be a win, it's not a matter of if, it's only a matter of when. This will, because the mayor and everyone is already saying they want to do this. All we're doing now is turning up the heat so that they know when it gets done, it's not because you guys were just presenting us with these great political largesse, as much as we may like some of the political candidates, but it came about as a community demand by folks who remember what it was like to have access to this station. Just yesterday, 2 days ago, I was literally talking to a brother who was around 50 years old who remembered being dropped off by his grandmother at the station and literally started crying. I got him on video, literally started crying when he heard about our efforts to think about opening up this station. So we know there are a lot of residents that have a lot of history with this station, and God willing, it's going to be a really dynamic, campaign. And so I think just more on that as the days and weeks ahead. But I'm confident that this is going to be just yet another dynamic thing that Rage, teamwork, E.G. Wood, Iman has an opportunity to celebrate with the larger Englewood community and everyone across the city that loves social justice and economic reparations. Seeing what Englewood's going to lead is going to make this yet another kind of feather in the cap of all the amazing work that's being done. So I'll just leave it there.
No, I think that's perfect. And we could go on and on. I mean, we as you know, I mean, we were so frantic. We started this like last year, out the gate, ready to go. We didn't care if we didn't have the prize or not. But then we had the opportunity with the school that really had us kind of hunker down on this really large development project. But we knew that we had to relight this fire and to make sure that, especially now with infrastructure dollars and federal dollars and so many communities getting revamped trains and their communities, that we have to push a little harder. And now that the ordinance is up, and we will send a follow-up on what you need to do with your local alderman. But we also had a petition we started last year that we want to even triple the number, so that when we make our case to our elected officials, which I'm glad to see our state rep, I know she would be all over this. Sonia Harper is on the call, and you know, we just know that the time is now, and so we wanted to just check in, let you guys know, you know, Go Green on Racine, we're busy. We have our own projects, but we also had this collective that we are still working through, and got a lot of great victories along the way. These were some of the responses that we got before with our survey. We want to really start documenting these responses, talking to people. We had talked about it last year. We do really want to capture many of those stories. So we're just going to put more info in the chat so folks to be involved, and we'll also send all type of call to actions and updates. We're going to start doing social media things that you can share to get the word out. We might want to talk to your neighbors on your block, capture stories. So we gonna get this green light. We're gonna get the green light on the green line. Any other things that we want to share? I know we are about 5 minutes out, and we just have a few more announcements, quick announcements. And
just a 30-second update, Asia, to add to the green line, is that last year on March 23rd, we gathered pretty much every transit agency at the city, state level to talk about this. So this is on the radar of all these political officials. So when we sort of step the, build the momentum on this campaign, that will not have been the first time that they have heard about this station. That will not have been the first time they have engaged the history of this station. That's right. And talk to us about the racial equity or racial inequity around its closure, and also that this project, Go Green on Racine more broadly, has been recommended by the Future of Transportation Caucus to this U.S. Secretary of Transportation. So this is actually number 2 on that report. This project is on the second page of that report, and it is the only project in Illinois that was a community-led transit project. The other 2 projects that were recommended from Illinois were transit agency-led transit projects. So either by RTA or CTA, but no other projects were actually community-led, and this was one of them.
I do want to open it up for any questions before I get to closing announcements, in case anyone had any thoughts, or if it's any questions in the chat that we didn't get to or answer. More activation, more conversation, more check-ins from our team will be happening, I think, in all of our respective meetings that we have. Just a couple of closing announcements. If you're not a member of Rage, or if you joined a long time ago and don't remember if you renew, join online, rageenglewood.org. It's going to be in the chat. These are a couple of more events happening, like coming up right this week. The Alderman in the Park, 16th Ward would be on 64th and Oakley. There's a youth mental health series with the Greater Englewood CDC. Teamwork Englewood is hosting Moran Park on Saturday. The following week, a couple weeks later, it's National Night Out, the Housing Fair. We will share all these and the folders to get to these flyers to everybody on the call. And I don't want to miss. And then, believe it or not, we're already getting into back to school. So feel like we just got out and now we're going back in. So there are a couple of back to school events happening all throughout the community. Stump the Yard is coming back for the 2nd year. There will be a back to school event over there by Antioch. The parade is happening on the 20th. Again, we will share with everyone as a recap. And then we're going to meet again 3rd Tuesday of the month for the village meeting is September 20th. We'll make the decision, let you guys know in advance if it's in person or not. And I want to give just a little time for voices in the village, but you guys are going to have to be 30 seconds if you have voices from the village that you would like to share with anyone. Raise your hand or either put it in the chat. If you want, yep, anybody, you can raise your hand. Brian, Danielle, let's start with Brian. Go ahead, Brian. And then Danielle.
Hello, everyone. Brian Haynes, Englewood resident Rage member. I'm an architect and developer here, and I'm part of an organization called INOMA, the Illinois chapter of the National Organization of Minority Architects. We have, a project called Project Pipeline, where we try to get minority students exposed to architecture. So we have a summer camp that is coming up for middle school students. We usually take students between the ages of 10 and 14. And it's August 3rd through the 7th. It's at IIT's Crown Hall. I'll put the link in the chat if you know a student or have a student who would be interested. It's $75. It's a 4-day camp. We do have scholarships if cost is an issue, but we want to see all the kids out there, so please sign them up.
Thank you, Brian. Danielle, I thought I saw her hand up, or did it?
Hey, Aisha, thank you for
Hey.
giving me a minute to talk.
Sure.
You guys had our Stump the Yard flyer up there, so thank you so much for that. Stump the Yard is coming back for the 2nd year. I'm super excited, and just like a really exciting addition to Stump the Yard this year, there will be a skating rink out there. So I really want everybody to bring their babies out that day, because there's going to be a ton of things happening that day. But I think that's a really good way to help with like a health and fitness. I am trying to connect with OC. I hope she's on this call because she is doing skating in Hamilton Park on Wednesdays. And so, you know, those guys just being able to connect the dots in all of our activities and things like that is an exciting thing. So there's going to be a ton of giveaways and free food being offered from Grow Greater Englewood. So that's amazing. And so I'm just excited to be able to connect the dots, listening to everybody talk about all the things happening in Englewood. We are so in tune, and so I'm happy to just contribute to that with this kind of culminating event, if you will.
Thank you, Danielle. And we have a luncheon, but we are right there, and we're going to walk right over when we're done. But yes, thank you for sharing.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yes, and good to see you. Chantel?
Evening. My name is Chantel Smith. I have been an Englewood resident all my life. I also work for Family Focus Englewood. It's a nonprofit. They offer services in Englewood. I've been working there almost forever. I just recently started working at Mays Elementary School. I run summer programs for Family Focus. And we're stationed at different schools within the community. So we're stationed at Mays and Kershaw. I think those 2 schools within Englewood community. I don't know if Bass or Bond are like on the outskirts.
That's still Englewood.
But I
that's
do
that's
want
like
to.
that's still Englewood.
Yeah, okay.
Like big time Englewood. You better not tell somebody from Bass they not in Englewood. That's my husband's school. My cousin graduated from that.
Okay, we just started at Bass. And
Okay.
I just want to take some information back to our coworkers and to Mays Elementary School to pass on to the parents. I'm running summer programs for another week. So I do want to get that information to them and let them know what's going on. And also, do any of you come to the school's individual back to school events? Because I know each school has their own events that they host along with attending community events.
Yeah, the one that we're doing on August 18th is actually with the network. So it's with Network 11.
Network 11.
We might just all be together on that. Please put your information. If you register, we'll make sure we follow up, because we're going to be paying people bills again at the housing fair, and we definitely want the parents at the school to know that. We did a $250 credit on people lights and gas bills at So Fresh Saturday, and we're gonna do that raffle again at the housing fair. So make sure we have your info. We can send it out to make sure you get it to the parents.
Yes.
Thank you, Chantel. Anybody else? Any other announcements? Anything going on that they want the village to know? I see it in the chat. Perfect. Perfect. All right. This is not too bad. 6:04. Thank you. I know we had a packed schedule. We was able to get it all in. We will send out the recording. You can watch it on YouTube later. We appreciate you. And if you have any questions for Rage, please feel free to email us or call us. Any questions for me, anything about what we discussed, just let us know. We will be doing some activation around the Green Line. So please watch all of our social medias, and we will send out information about any advocacy with the Green Line in the next weeks. And I think that's it. Unless Brittany, I'm missing something. Nope. Okay, have a good night. Thank you all for hanging with us all night. You can unmute yourself and say goodbye.
Bye.
Thank
you.
Goodbye, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Good night, everybody.
All right, I'm gonna stop.
Good